guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another episode of Bufarete. Snapping with Bufarete, however you want to call it, guys. I have some very important news. Sorry about all the papers I have on my desk. I swear, I usually don't write what I'm gonna say, but this one is gonna be a pretty scripted because I want to make sure that I get all the points. So anyway, this is the first video I'm recording on 2023. The video you saw yesterday, I recorded previous year, which was like 2 days ago, and season starts today. Season ends today, right? New season starts tomorrow, and I have made it to infinite, guys. Your boy Bufarete made it to infinite on the first season. I really play. I started playing mid last season, but I think I only made it to, I don't know, rank on the season pass. I only made it like to 2025. I didn't even finish it, which is why I didn't buy it, which is why I don't have Black Panther that I still regret to this day. I should have bought it even if I didn't finish it, especially if I was gonna do videos, but that's none of the point. This is the first season I actually wanted to push, and I made it to infinite with 2 days left to spare, and I felt amazing, guys. I put so much work, I put so much grind, I put so much thought, I put so much energy into it. So reach it infinite just felt amazing. Like, I slept so freaking good yesterday night, and from this experience, right, I learned a lot. My first season, right? I know there's people who've been playing this game for 6 months, 5 months, whatever it is now. I haven't. I just started. And a lot of the subreddit comments were people saying how much harder the game it is now to push to infinite versus at the beginning. Because basically at the beginning, there were quite a few bots, right? And you could tell who were bots and who weren't bots. And it was easier. Now that the game has been global now for almost 2 months now, and people are getting a lot better at the game, it's getting harder and harder. And that's why your boy Bufarete is here to give you 10 wait, let me try that again. 10 tips so how you guys can push to infinite. These are not in any particular order of importance. I'll put timestamps in the bottom in case you guys want to skip over one or the other or whatnot, so check that in the description. So guys, tip number 1: when to snap. It's so important, right? It's part of the game. It's not called Marvel Infinite card games. It's not called Marvel whatever. It's called Marvel Snap. Snapping is such a fundamental and integral part of the game, and knowing when to snap and when not to snap, it's gonna be the whole difference, right? And saying that it's easier than saying it, and I'll go over why. I'll go over how to know, right? At the beginning, I snap on everything, dude. I didn't care. Because why? Because everyone's snapping, so losing 8 and winning 8 is not a big deal. The closer you get to the end, right? The closer you get to infinite, it doesn't happen, right? Snapping and losing 4 or 8 cubes, it's GG, right? Like you just lost 2-3 hours of work, so it's not like that. One thing I'm gonna say, first turn snappers, get out of here. Don't snap on first turn unless you're just YOLOing or making a YouTube video or whatever. First time snap, it's horrible. Why? This game is incredibly luck based, right? It's not purely skill based, right? Like if you're good at math and you're good at counting and you're good at deck building, you will exceed. But there's no around. It's a math game, right? If everything is unchanged, you're gonna draw about 75% of your deck, which is the 3 cards you start and then 6 cards for each other stage, right? If no limbo or no draw card or whatever. So there's a huge amount of luck of which cards you get, which cards your opponent gets, and the locations. And nothing messes me up more than the location. So what I'm saying is, don't snap on turn 1. You still haven't seen 2 locations. You still haven't seen like half of the cards you're gonna draw here. But also, don't snap on turn 5. Don't snap on turn 6. It's too late. By turn 5 and 6, your opponents already know, and if they got a good rotation, if they got good stuff, and they have a better sense if they're gonna pull the combo or not. And if you snap on turn 5 or 6, they're just gonna retreat, period. They're just gonna retreat, right? So you could have had, say that you have a 90% chance that you think you're gonna win. If you snap on turn 6, they're out, right? So you could have won 2 cubes, and now you're gonna walk home with 1 singular cube, which again, if you're lower arenas, who cares? But at the top, it matters the absolute most. So when do I snap? It will always be around turn 3 or turn 4. At turn 3, you know all your locations. You have drawn half of the cards you're gonna draw, right? So if you're running something like, I don't know, I'm running Sarah Surfer right now, and I already got like my Sarah, my Silver Surfer, and like Brood. Sorry, everyone that corrected me saying that I keep saying broad. Sorry, Brood, broad, Brood. Sorry, corrections department. Thank you though. I will snap. Why? I mean, you also can see their deck, right? Have they played cards on every turn? Is it looking like they're gonna have? Did they snap already? But usually, and then if they snap, I'm out of there, right? For the most part, if they snap before turn 3, I go, and if they snap on turn 5 and 6, I'm gone. So if they snap on 3 and I have good, I stay. If they snap on 3 or 4 and my cards are good, I will stay. That's the only way that I play to 4 cubes. And then at the end, right, if both of you snap on turn 3 and turn 4, I know sunk cost fallacy, it's still a thing, right? But you can still retreat. It's still better to lose 4 than to lose 8. That's tip number 1. Tip number 2 is subscribing and liking this. No, I'm just kidding. The reveal order. Incredibly important. You have to know reveal order. You have to know how to manipulate reveal order. You have to know when have it, who has it at all time, right? Especially if you have an unrevealed deck, it is so important. And unreveal happens when, if the game were to end right now, the person who would have won the game, theoretically, it's the one that's going to reveal first the next turn. You don't always want to reveal first, right? If you're running a Shanchi, for example, you want them to reveal first on the last turn, so you can get that extra card they play down. There's several like different things, right? Something like Cosmo. If you're running Cosmo, you probably want to reveal first, right? If you're running Aero, you probably also want to reveal first because you want to pull the cards away before they reveal and they put whatever they were going to put on that lane. Say, for example, something like Magneto. Such a good card, right? I had done this thing that my opponent has a Cosmo and I have Magneto, their unrevealed cards onto the Cosmo. If you do it before they reveal, then Cosmo is going to negate the effect, right? You can do the same thing with Aero. You can do the same thing with so many cards. So knowing who reveals first and if it's at your advantage or your disadvantage is going to win or lose you games. To me, it's so important to win that turn 5 because I want to reveal first on turn 6 with the deck I'm running now, right? It's not always going to be the case, but just always keep that in mind. If you know, for example, if they have Spider Woman, you want to reveal second, so then Spider Woman doesn't do the -1 to all your cards. Tip number Tip number 3. Notes. Use notes. Get sticky notes. I always have sticky notes everywhere with me, and I do a lot of notes. Now, don't laugh at me. This is gonna show that I'm pretty old, but please don't laugh at this. This is a little bit embarrassing, but I share it with you. It's so cringe. I have printed this black and white. I have a laser printer, first of all, so it's fine to print a lot. You get like 5,000 pages. Oh, that's tip number 7. Buy a laser printer. It's the best investment you're gonna get with a printer instead of inkjet. Anyway, that's not it. I print this, which is the cards with the current deck I'm running that I always do a check on turn 5. If they were to play any of these cards, would I lose? And on turn 5, I will look at my notes, right? And I printed them because I play on my phone and my iPad upstairs versus I record downstairs. And I say, okay, if they play Cerebro Silver, if they play Cerebro Mystique, am I doomed? If they play Silver Surfer, whatever, Wong, am I doomed? If they play Shang-Chi, am I doomed? If they play Red Skull, Taskmaster, Hela, Arnim Sola, Destroyer, Leader, Magneto, Death, am I done? Right? And before I click and turn on turn 5, I will do all that. I also have on this corner, really ugly there, reveal first, right? Who reveals first? Because if I'm doing like, if I know they're gonna play a leader, which leader, by the way, it's the deck that I lost the most has to be leader. So I started making notes specific to leader, and that's why I say make notes, not use this note. Specific notes to your deck. If you remember, cheap first. Why? Because leader will copy them on that order, right? So if he only has 2 spots and I'm gonna play 3 cards down, I'm gonna put like the cheapest cards first, so then he won't be able to copy the last card, which is the real kicker. I also have here, I lost twice to this, so I made a big note on it. If you see wave, there's death coming right after wave, right? That's always the case. If they're running a destroyer deck and they are ready to destroy 4 cards and you see that death coming, that wave coming on turn 3, on turn 4, you know what's coming. You know death is coming on turn 5 or 6, whatever. You know it's gonna come. So count on that. And a lot of the time they would do something like Death Taskmaster, and it's quite a bit of a pain. So if those are specific for my deck, they might not affect your deck. So make notes, make sure those notes work with your deck, and review those notes before you click skip, before you click intern, before you snap, because it's gonna save you a lot of cubes. Turn number 4. This is mostly for new players. I don't know if you all know, but when you jump into pool 3, which is at 486 collection level, you're gonna start getting matched with everyone in the game that it's in pool 3, right? So if you want to push that first season and you just want to get like to the feel of the game, stay on pool 1 and 2. It's gonna be a lot easier to make it to infinite if you stay on pool 1 and 2. You can make some amazing move decks, amazing kazoo decks. Like there's 3 or 4 decks that you can stay on pool 1 and 2 that are gonna take you to infinite if you're only going against people that have decks in pool 1 and 2. You may see the occasional 3, but not that often. So if the rank is the only thing you want to do for the first few seasons to get a grip on the game, or maybe you are just about to get on pool 3 at the end of the season, I would wait. And my son this morning, that's what he was doing. He just entered pool 3, and I said, dude, your game's about to get a lot harder, so just keep that in mind. Number 5, this one took me a while to actually master, is turn 5 rolls around. It doesn't mean because you're on turn 5 you have to play your 6 energy cards. I used to run a deck that would always have like something like America Chavez, would have like I don't know, America Chavez or Odin, big cards, Infinite, things like that. And I always was like, okay, turn 4, 5, and 6, I know what I'm playing. I'm playing the card that costs 4, the card that costs 5, and the card that plus 6. And I would lose games because the leftmost lane had a 1 and 2 card that I even never thought about that. So putting a 6 energy card on the right lane that had 9 energy, 8 energy, 10 energy, it was a waste. I would have been a lot better splitting among 2 lanes or 3 lanes even, and try to get something more guaranteed. So don't feel like turn 6 you have to absolutely big down that beat stick and just overpower whatever, because that might not be what wins you the game. Especially now that I'm running that Sarah Surfer deck, it's not a big deal because I don't have any 6 energy cards on that deck, but I do have 5 energy cards on that deck. And I will choose if I play them to end the game or not, and most likely I will not. Number 6, retreat. But only retreat. If nobody snaps, don't early retreat, right? I would be sometimes that I started playing a game and my hand was bad, the locations were bad, and I'm not doing this, and I immediately retreat. Subterranea came out, I'm not playing that location, I retreat. Don't do it. Again, it's a very luck game, and odds are your opponent may also have a really bad hand, or the other 2 locations are bad, or stay, right? Like in poker, you know, when everyone just checks, you can check, right? And if no one snaps all the way to turn 5, you may reassess the situation and say, well, you know, it just started bad, but then he put like a 1-2 card on bar with no name, and all of a sudden it's looking better on my favor. But if not, at the end, if 5 turns ran by, you're on turn 6 and it's not gonna happen, then only retreat there. But don't retreat just in the first few turns unless they snap, right? If they snap on turn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then I'm out. If I have a losing hand. The other thing is, always use retreat later. You'd be surprised by the amount of people that also retreated, right? And sometimes I would feel like I'm losing a game and that my opponent is completely murdering me, and I just retreat later, and then we don't lose any powers. Now, it doesn't tell you if he also retreat. You have to keep an eye on the bar. If it moves to the left, then he retreated. If it doesn't move to the left, then that means that he also retreats. So use retreat later. Worst case scenario, it costs you a few more seconds. Best case scenario, it will save you a cube here and there. The other thing is a cost sunk fallacy. Just because you snap on turn 3 and then turn 4, 5, and 6 were really bad, and now you have committed to 2 cubes, or your opponent also snapped, and now you are committed to 4 cubes, 8 cubes. 4 cubes if you retreat. It's okay. right? I'd rather lose 4 cubes and live to lie another day than just be like, oh, I spent too much. I'm just gonna take it all the way through. You may get frustrated and be like, oh, whatever, Hail Mary. No, right. If you're in the early ranks, who cares? It's fine. Just snap later and then get 8. But if you're at the end, it's okay to retreat even if you lose 2, even if you lose 4. 8 is freaking devastating, dude. Nothing worse than being a 98 and losing 8 cubes. And I have done it. I have done it, and that's what I'm telling you. Don't do it. It's not worth it. And I even think that if you have all the time in the world, right, you can probably just never snap and just retreat and do 1 and 2, 1 and 2, and just the very rare and occasional 4 and 4, and you would still make it to infinite. So that would be another tip right there. Number 7, this is mostly cosmetic. This is not to help you improve a lot, but if there's a card that you are very interested in splitting quite a bit, don't upgrade it, because the game would favor the cards that you didn't upgrade, right? So if you leave a card with the ugly gray border, you're gonna get more boosters, which is gonna help you upgrade it a little bit faster. That was just, I thought I threw that in. Number 8, sorry, and this is the one that I think helped me the most. Abuse the promoted locations, right? Right now, by the time you watch this, I don't think it will be, but right now, when I was recording this and when I pushed to infinite, it was Gamma Lab. Gamma Lab, amazing location, right? On turn 3, all the cards are turning to the Hulk. You know, that's going to happen in most of your games. 40% chance of getting it, right? So it's going to happen not on most, but half of your games mostly. Abuse it, dude. Put a Chang-Chi in your deck. Put a Cosmo or Armor in your deck. Put a Polaris in your deck. Why? Because you know what's going to happen, right? So I did 2 things. I got my Sarah Surfer deck and I replaced my 2 energy cards for a Chang-Chi and a Mr. Sinister. If I saw Gamma Lab, I would put a Mr. Sinister just to throw something at it. Sarah Surfer decks don't usually play anything on turn 2, so you don't lose that much on that, or turn 1. If they didn't go for that location, you almost 99% know that they have a Chang-Chi. But if they go for the location, now you have 2, so they feel like they have to put 3 of them. Don't put any more. Leave 1 card, leave 2 cards, whatever. And then you can Chang-Chi them on turn 4. Now, if they don't Chang-Chi you, right, you can always put a Cosmo on it. Another thing that I love to do, right, I have Polaris in my deck, 3 and 5, and it pulls a 1 or 2 energy card to a location. I would put Polaris on the Hulk on the Gamma Lab to make sure they had 4 cards there, right? It happened in a game that they put like a Squirrel Girl, and I pulled one of the squirrels in there. Why? Location is freaking full. They cannot Chang-Chi you. They cannot Cosmo. They cannot Armor. You wait until the last turn. Hadouken! That's a free location if you do that. That's one that I used and worked out really, really good for me. So abuse the location. If you know that a location is going to be more consistent, if you know that bar with no name is going to be the location feature, use something that you can either unreveal or an ongoing thing that's going to buff, something like Blue Marble, and all of a sudden all your cards get +4/+4, or put Vision in your deck, right? You put Vision in your deck, you get 4 Visions, then move them out. Dude, it's so good. Put Nightcrawler. You can do the same with Nightcrawler, Vision, and then put like a Blue Marvel in it. And next thing you know, you have 7, 14, 15, 16 plus 8. You got 22 locations. Like, it's not 22 locations, 22 power locations. So very, very useful. I did it a lot with Silver Surfer. So good, dude. You put a Silver Surfer in there. Next thing you know, you're buffing most of your cards, like 13, 9, but 12. You gotta abuse it, right? So which location, its feature, how can I adapt my deck, or is my deck not meant for that location? I need to find a new deck. Very important. Number 9. This is anecdotal, right? But I find myself that I play amazing in the mornings and amazing at night. If I play between like 9 in the morning to 6, 7 p.m., I suck. I don't know if that's when the best players are active. I don't know if that's just that I'm tired from the day. I don't know what it is. But in the morning, I play amazing. Beautiful mind levels of amazingness. at like 9 p.m. after my wife goes to bed, I get in the zone. I put my headphones on. She's sleeping next to me. Lights are off. I play a lot better with the lights off. Go figure. I don't know. No distractions, maybe. And I know that's the best times I play. Also, that's when quest resets, and I feel like when quest reset, more people come to play instead of people grinding hard. So again, anecdotal, but mornings and nights, it's when I best do my push-ins, right? And the day that I made it to infinite, I push in the morning from 90 to 97, and then that night I put from 97 to 99. So know when you play the best if you're going for the grind, and play at those times. Try not to play at other times. That worked for me, and I think it was probably one of the best things I did. Not play during the day, wait until 9 and then do it, or in the morning when I wake up. And then tip number 10, the most important of them all. And why did we leave it to the end? I don't know. I added to the list in that order, and it's just there. Master your deck. Like, I don't even know how else to put it. You have to master your deck. You have to know with the utmost certainty what's going to happen if they drop an Arnim Sola. What happens if you drop an Arnim Sola, a Gorgonzola? What's going to happen if all of a sudden Luke's Bar pops up and you have Storm in your hand? You cannot have doubt of, wait a second, if I drop Storm there, is it going to bounce back or is it not going to bounce back? If I put Professor X here, is it going to destroy it or not? If I put that, like, you have to know every single interaction your deck has, and you have to know the second I put a Brood down and I put my Silver Surfer, how much is that? You have to master your deck. Now, I grinded this season again from 30 to freaking 100, and I can tell you at 100 you see a lot of pull 1-2 decks with 1 or 2 pull 3 cards, right? So it's not that up there people are playing like this pull 5 and 6, pull 5 and 4 cards only. No. There's a lot of pull 1-2 cards that people are using there, and a lot of very common decks are still there. So don't feel like you have to have pull 5, pull 4 cards to win. A lot of pull 1, 2, and 3 cards up there. You gotta know how to use them. You gotta know when to use them. And if you have mastered your deck and you combine that with when to snap, when to retreat, who reveals first, when do I have to snap? I said that twice, but that's how important it is. How much energy I got, management, interactions. It's all you need, right? Now, you're going to have to put the time. It's a long grind. I think I put about 100 hours this season. Granted, I'm doing a lot of YouTube videos, so I do, I switch decks quite a bit. But on this last tip, on the master your deck, don't flip-flop because it's not working. I would go and play with Sarah Surfer on one occasion and I would lose 3-4 ranks and be like, oh, this deck sucks, I'm gonna switch it, when in reality, I don't know, it was maybe my mental state, it was locations, it was bad retreat, bad RNG. It can happen. Trust your deck, right? Trust your instincts. If it's working for someone else, it's probably gonna work for you. Stick with it, learn all the interactions, learn all the locations, and you'll ultimately succeed. Those are all my tips. I feel like if I would have known all of this at the beginning of the season, I feel like I would have made it into infinite a little bit earlier than what I did. But hopefully this is helping any of you. Now, I'm gonna ask you, am I missing any tip? Is there anything I say that perhaps was not right and I can maybe fix it, or something that I don't know that I had to know? Please leave it down in the comments. I read all the comments. I heart all the comments. I'm always here checking and making sure that I'm putting out the best content that I can. Now I'm very excited because I did record the last battle. I screen recorded because I was playing on my iPad. So now I'm gonna show you the battle that took me to infinite. Okay, so Destroy deck, very interesting. Again, Gamma Lab was active, so Bufarete is gonna abuse Gamma Lab. I hate Deadpool. Why? They put a Hulk Buster behind Deadpool, and next thing you know, they have a freaking 50 card on the last turn. Now, I got Killmonger, so I can always let them win turn 5, so I can kill Monger on turn 6 and get that destroy. But your boy Bufarete had a better idea other than that, right? One thing about Gamma Lab is that Gamma Lab doesn't destroy cards. Gamma Lab transform cards. So if you get a Deadpool pull into Gamma Lab, That's GG right there, because it doesn't get destroyed, so it's not gonna go back to his hands with double the power. Now, I was lucky there. Obviously, Polaris pulling that Deadpool was locked, like because it could have pulled any of the other. There was a 25% chance of that. But I had Juggernaut on my, sorry, I had Killmonger on my hand, so I felt good about that. Now, on turn 4, I knew locations were gonna swap, and I was hoping that if I stormed this location, it would have gone to Starlight Citadel to the left, so then I can Killmonger, right? He doesn't know I have Killmonger. He doesn't know I have Shang-Chi. So if I can flood that location on the left, I know I can get those at the end there. So there we go. So I'm gonna flood that location and move it, and that was absolutely perfect. Why? Because now I can do Sarah on turn 5, and if I do Sarah on turn 5, I can play up to 3 cards on turn 2. Sorry, up to 3 energy cards on turn 6, or I can play my Shang-Chi and my Killmonger, which is exactly what I wanted, right? So if he plays on flooding now, I'm gonna put my Sarah. If he plays on the flooding location, something that's not 1 energy, then I'm gonna go hard on the right location. Then I don't care about Killmonger, right? I would do something like Juggernaut to push cards that way. But, well, I don't want to spoil it, but I put my Sarah down. Why? Because now I got so many options. So he put Taskmaster there, which is good, right? Because I got it. If I do Killmonger now he reveals first, which it's a bit tricky. If he had a Cosmo for whatever reason, I would have lost this game. But also Cosmo costs 3, so then he couldn't put a lot. So that's why I do Shang-Chi on the Hulks. That was the good thing why I did the Polaris, right? Fill that lane, because then they cannot do armor, they cannot do anything. Killmonger will take care of the demon and will take care of the squirrel. And at this point, I was feeling really good. I was 99.9. I was 99.9, so I'd only needed 1 Q. He did Venom there. And check, why did you think he did Venom? I don't know, because he could not play an Arnim Solar or anything. Shang-Chi's gonna take that middle lane, guys. Absolutely beautiful. Killmonger is gonna take care of both of the cards on the left, and we are gonna handsomely win that game, and it felt so good. Now, if he would have played cards on the flooded location, on the location that was flooding, I was very excited. That's not BM, that was me literally out of excitement. I would have not played Killmonger, right? I would have played maybe Broad. I would have done Broad Silver Surfer. I would have done something else, and we would have still won it. And there we go, from 99.1 to 101. Absolutely crazy. I could not believe it, guys. And now I got my beautiful new title that I am never going to use because it's an absolute try-hard staple. And it just feels so good. Now, will I do it again? I don't know that I do it. I don't know if I have the heart of doing it again, but we're gonna start on ranked 70 next season. We might do it. So anyway, guys, I'm gonna wrap it up for this episode right now. I hope everyone's having a fantastic time, a fantastic day, a fantastic new year, guys. And get ready, 2023, about to get real good, guys. Thank you all for your support. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for subscribing and liking all my videos. I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.